Most of this 2,400-year-old text is missing, but what's left is even more incredible. Oxford, England, 1878. The Bodleian Library purchases a manuscript that's just arrived from India. At first glance, it looks like another Victorian-era Sanskrit text, beautiful Devanagari calligraphy in black ink on Western paper. But when scholars begin reading, they realize this is something far more ancient. The Gajaśāstra, the science of elephants, attributed to the sage Palakapya, who lived somewhere between the 5th and 6th century BCE. That makes the original text over 2,400 years old. Older than Aristotle, older than Alexander the Great's conquests. Written when elephants were the nuclear weapons of the ancient world. This particular copy was created between 1874 and 1878. But it preserves knowledge that predates written history in most of Europe. 337 folios, 50.2 centimeters tall, 31.8 centimeters wide. The text runs until folio 256, then stops abruptly. What comes after? Page after page of pure visual documentation. Elephants in every imaginable form and function. And here's the extraordinary part. This is the only fully illuminated Gajaśāstra manuscript available digitized anywhere in the world. Ancient India didn't just coexist with elephants, they decoded them. The Gajaśāstra reveals a level of biological understanding that modern science is only now beginning to validate. Look closely at these folios. They aren't just art, they are anatomical maps. Centuries before European doctors mapped the circulatory system, these texts described the elephant's unique internal structures, including a sophisticated understanding of their four-chambered heart and respiratory efficiency. But the physical was only the beginning. The Gajaśāstra pioneered elephant psychology. It classifies these giants into distinct personality types based on behavior, lineage, and temperament. The text identifies natural leaders, the calm, strategic thinkers, and contrasts them with the impulsive warriors or the scholars capable of learning complex tasks. Their diagnostic methods were surgical in their precision. They could predict an elephant's entire destiny just by analyzing the geometry of its footprints, the rhythm of its trunk, and even its sleeping patterns. Then there is the Hasti Ayurveda, the pinnacle of ancient veterinary medicine. This isn't folklore, it's a pharmaceutical record. It documents over 100 specific diseases, prescribing treatments ranging from complex Ayurvedic herbal tonics to intricate surgical procedures. They formulated recipes to boost memory, treatments for psychological trauma in captive herds, and even developed mineral-based compounds to increase physical endurance for long-distance marches. However, this knowledge had a strategic core: the classification of the three great castes of elephants. First is the Kumeria, the noble caste, massive and steady, serving as the immovable anchors of the front line. Then the Mandra, the middle caste, valued for their endurance and balanced temperament. Finally, the Mirga, the slender caste, light-framed and swift, used for rapid movement and scouting. To the ancient kings, choosing the wrong caste for a mission was a recipe for certain defeat. The manuscript visualizes formations like the Padmavyuha, the lotus formation, where elephants formed an impenetrable living defensive circle. Ancient Indian generals understood a truth modern military strategists still study: weaponry kills, but morale wins. A single well-trained war elephant was a weapon designed to break a battalion's will before a single arrow was fired. Yet, for all its hard science, the text never loses its soul. It anchors this biology in the divine, bridging the gap between the physical beast and the cosmic guardians. Because in the eyes of the Gajaśāstra, to understand the elephant was to understand the very pillars of the universe. As we transition from the science of the court to the spirit of the cosmos, the manuscript unveils the dawn of time. Here, we see Lord Brahma, the creator, manifesting atop the Hiranyagarbha, the golden egg. In the silence of the primordial waters, life isn't just born. It is engineered by the divine. The text describes how the shell of this cosmic egg split to release the first life forces of the universe. But these were not the earth-bound creatures we know today. Born with magnificent wings, the first herds were defined by their celestial colors. We see the Pushpadanta family, glowing in brilliant saffron and orange. The Vamana lineage, a deep, misty blue like the storm clouds they once inhabited. And the Savabhuma family, manifesting in a vibrant blossom pink. They were the clouds that walked, capable of soaring between mountain peaks before they were ever bound to the earth. The manuscript documents the intimate bond between these first herds and the gods. We see the fire god, Agni, standing among them, not as a master, but as a witness to their power. This section of the art serves as a visual lineage, tracing the 8 divine families, the Ashtadigajas, who were destined to become the pillars of the world, holding up the very directions of the compass. But as we look closer at these later folios, the narrative voice suddenly vanishes. From folio 257 onward, the manuscript becomes a ghost, offering 80 pages of pure visual documentation with no accompanying words. Was the scribe lost to history, or was this a deliberate seal on the most dangerous secrets of the guru? Without the text to guide us, we are forced to rely on the art itself to reveal the final, most heartbreaking chapter of the elephant's journey. To understand why this manuscript is so vital, we have to look at what else exists, or rather, what doesn't. The original Hastyayurveda text by Palakapya, published in 1894, is a massive 700-page volume, but it contains 0 illustrations. It is pure Sanskrit text. The Matangalila, also text only. Even the legendary illuminated versions in Thanjavur or private collections in Awadh remain locked away from the public eye, undigitized and out of reach. This makes the Bodleian manuscript the only fully illuminated Gajaśāstra that anyone in the world can access digitally. When you look at these winged elephants disturbing the meditation of sage D. Hatapas, you aren't just looking at art. You are looking at the only surviving visual bridge to an ancient Indian science. This is a singular artifact of human knowledge, showing us exactly how these myths and techniques were meant to be seen. The tragedy of the curse, where the sage strips these creatures of their wings, mirrors the tragedy of the knowledge itself. As the elephants fall from the celestial peaks of the Himalayas to the dust of the earth, we witness the moment divine freedom was traded for human service. This manuscript arrived at Oxford in 1878, just as the traditional world of the elephant masters was beginning to fade. For centuries, the royal courts of India supported a science of partnership, where elephants were seen as intelligent companions rather than just tools. Today, we are effectively reverse engineering this lost wisdom. While modern methods often rely on dominance, the Gajaśāstra reminds us of a time when psychology, herbal medicine, and mutual respect were the standard. It's like finding the sheet music for a lost instrument. We can see the brilliance, even if we are still learning how to play the notes. This document is more than just a relic. It is a bridge. It saved a 2,400-year-old tradition from total extinction, acting as a silent witness to a science we are only now beginning to appreciate again. The Gajaśāstra. 24 centuries of elephant science. 337 folios of text and paintings. The only illuminated version accessible to the world. A testament to how advanced ancient Indian science was, and a reminder of how much we've lost. If you want to explore more forgotten manuscripts that changed history, hit subscribe. Because next time, we're opening something even more mysterious. A book written in a language that doesn't exist. The Voynich Manuscript, the most famous unsolved code in history. You won't find this anywhere else. Books to watch. Follow for more.